So here we are again, another night of javelin practice, and this time you can see that I am dressed up for this. Last time I wasn't, because it was Christmas Day and I wasn't expecting to go out and break a sweat, so I did, and I took my regular clothes. But this time I am back with my javelins, and I got my single-handed sword this time, and as well a different style shield, a more Celtic, older looking shield, basic looking shield. And it's made out of wood. It has a very good handle. It's actually a very good shield. It's one of my favorite, but it's not the conventional one that people are used to seeing when I do my videos. Now here I am doing the sword and getting warmed up. Okay, well, I am already warmed up. All day I had a day off and I was working out and building my muscles and just increasing the weights, and I did a lot of running, and before this I was doing quite a bit of practice, and I decided to turn on my camera and film the last of just a little bit of show that I wanted to put on, just me running around and kind of battling and pretending to battle, pretending that there's opponents in front of me, and I'm having as much fun as I can and exercising. And you know what? The cold is not as bad this time around. I'm actually getting used to it. So every weekend that I've been coming out, I've been getting used to this, and as well I've been getting more faster, more agile, and the javelin throwing has not really improved because these javelins are starting to break. They are not real javelins. In reality, they're sticks that are not really aerodynamic. They're very heavy, probably 3 times more heavier than a regular javelin, the stick itself. And then the spearhead is not even pointed, it's not even sharp. And what happens is that it's kind of like not evenly balanced, so when it flies through the air it kind of rotates a little bit and doesn't fly that good. But still, a lot of the javelin tosses that I'm making are actually made to penetrate, let's just say, a standing target rather than hitting the ground, and because it's close range, that's where it's at. So I keep moving in and out of the sword use, and as well the javelins, and using a little bit of the shield and then the spear that I have that's kind of like a javelin that I'm using as well, but it's more longer so I can fight with it. And I try to just go in and out of my styles and try to pretend that this is like a real battle, that there is real opponents in front of me and that they're running at me or whatnot, or however you imagine it. This is how I'm imagining it, and I'm actually having quite a bit of fun. And I recommend other people to try this stuff and keep up with the good sport, something to let off the tension, let off the energy, and as well build more strength and endurance and agility. And I find that throwing the javelin and doing a little bit of sword practice is a fun and safe way of building strength, and as well you can do it on your own, and you can always expect to have fun and get your cardio going up. And as well, all my material is makeshift. Everything is safe. They're not weapons. They're not made to hurt anybody. And as well, I pick my areas where there's nobody around within like a mile. So that means that I can throw my javelin safely, but I still choose not to throw it that hard. And as well, because there's a sheet of ice below me, I'm not going to be playing around with doing super hard tosses and possibly slipping on that ice. But as long as I keep my agility and keep my footing right, I have no problem moving around the snow and shifting between weapons and whatever you call it, and just have fun. So here I'm starting to get a little tired, believe it or not, after a bit of training and as well the exertion that I've had all day. Now I am here and I am starting to get just a little bit tired, but still I am going to keep doing this, and I'm going to do this for a little while. And this is going to be a long video because I did quite a bit of it. I actually ran around quite a bit and I didn't really stop. So I usually stop part way and just kind of take a breather and let the camera just kind of get like a short clip so I can incorporate the slow motion. But this time it's going to be a long one. So I try also different stabs with the spear because it actually helps So when you have just one way of attacking, sure, it's good, you master it, but if you try different things, you'll see that it's going to build your endurance, build the muscles, and as well it gets your body and your memory used to doing other things. So when you are at a position to do the move that you're used to making, what you do is that you try a different move, you try a different technique, and you build your strength towards being efficient with that technique, and as well being agile with that technique, and having a little bit of blockage of that technique, and it works. And doing the overhand spear thrust is very deadly, very tough, but you have to kind of be as well with the crowd of people, and that's what the old phalanx used to do. They used to do the overhand stabs. So I used a little bit of my sword, and I continue to throw the javelins, and I am throwing them a little bit further than I did before. That's because I set up my camera a little bit more back, so that means that you can actually see me throwing things from a little bit more of a distance. And I'm just realizing these javelins, they're gonna have to go, and I'm gonna have to upgrade them. I'm gonna have to make them lighter, and I don't have to make them sharper, I don't have to make them lethal or deadly or anything, just enough to stick in the ground. But if they're more aerodynamic and more lighter, I think I'm gonna have an easier time and get less tired. So my character right here is starting to resemble more a person of a later period, and you can see like how like I'm trying everything I can, just trying to use every technique that I can with the basic weapons that I have, and it's quite a bit of stuff there. The guy's got a sword, I got a shield there, I got a couple of javelins, and one longish kind of malicious spear, which is kind of like a long javelin, and it's also a good size for a javelin. That means that it's pretty aerodynamic, and as well it has a lot of power when it sticks. But it's like I'm looking for something more medium-sized, so you can see like how it's used. It actually does pretty good. Even though the spear's not that long, in reality it's kind of okay. I don't want it to be super long. I don't want it to be like 8 feet, unless I have like cavalry on the field and stuff like that, or other kind of pikes and units like that. It would be good to have a longer spear, but when you're in formation like that and you got quite a bit of spears, you can do quite a bit of damage, and as well you can still maneuver and block and do a lot of things. But you can also do that with the long spear. It just takes more strength and as well more skill and more anticipation, because the weight distribution is a little bit more different. As opposed to a smaller one, you can kind of work it like a pole arm. So right here I do as well the double hand. As you're going to see, the double spears, I try to keep doing that technique even though I'm not that good at it. And all this stuff, it kind of seems a little bit nimble and kind of weak, and it is kind of weak. This javelins don't stick. I'm getting tired and stuff like that. I lose my footing, the ice kind of gets to me, my feet get cold, or sometimes my lungs, my breathing gets too cold, and I gotta take like a little break, or I gotta warm myself up. But I'm getting stronger. I'm starting to get more built, and from the first time that I came, I was very exerted. I was very tired at the end of it. I was kind of having a little bit of a headache, because I did like a lot of exertion, and as well in the snow like that. But now I'm starting to get more stronger. I'm starting to get more adapted to it. I'm starting to get more focused, and I know that if I keep trying this and I as well upgrade my stuff, I'm eventually going to begin to be pretty effective with it. So I'm not writing all this down. I don't got this all scripted. I'm just talking right now off the top of my head. I'm just thinking about what I want to say and kind of entertain you guys as you watch me train and stuff like that. The video is nothing really special. This series that I'm making, it's historical. To me, it's special. To me, I enjoy it. To me, I love this kind of stuff. It's historical, and as well it gives me exercise. But I decided to share it with you guys. If you guys want to watch it, if you guys want to like it, if you guys want to share it, if you guys want to learn from it, if you guys enjoy the way that I make the videos and want to comment and as well have something to watch, or just something different as opposed to what you see nowadays on YouTube and as well in the movies and whatnot, wherever you see other things relating to the medieval ages or the Renaissance ages or as well the ancient ages. My javelin, I would say that he's kind of got quite a bit of weaponry and as well the clothes and stuff, which is pretty basic of a person who would have been a light unit. You would have even seen this kind of style of clothes, maybe not in the Roman times. They would have had more shorter kind of apparel and stuff like that. They would have had different kind of styles, different kind of ways of the legging, the pants, and as well the shirts and the stuff that you wrap around the waist. My guy resembles more a later period, and he as well has swords from a much more later period. And as well, the shield is kind of like a little bit earlier, but you would have seen shields like that all over the place for a long time. People had different kind of shields. It's just for us, when we study history, we're always used to seeing the basic stuff, the basic weaponry, which is pretty cool. It's okay. But it's like, I just put my stuff together. I study a little bit of history. I see what kind of weaponry and what kind of protection was out there, the kind of clothes and stuff like that. And I would say that I look just about right for a character that's sort of Celtic, or as well from Iberia, from northern Iberia. And while I'm doing this, I'm doing a little bit of acting, and you're going to see me doing a little bit of kind of like the showboating. And for me, I'm doing that because, like, back in the day, if I was fighting a bunch of opponents like that and I'm starting to get tired, you know what I'm saying, I just got to give myself some courage. So I'll give like the enemy a nice yell, and I'll be like, yeah, come on, you know what I'm saying, and I would keep charging in there, and it kind of intimidates the enemy a little bit. It kind of makes them think twice. It's like, this guy's a little bit crazy. So part of it's psychological, another part of it's acting, and it's how I'm kind of like feeling at that moment when I'm doing this stuff. Like, you would think that I'm just like acting, I'm just doing this for the camera. No, in reality, like, I'm putting myself in these people's shoes. That's why I make the costumes, that's why I try. You can see me kind of screwing up with the javelins, but I still kind of like record this stuff. I still put it in there. I fight, I slip, I do everything I can. I breathe, I take my moments, and I as well try to recover. And from the mistakes that I make, I try to recover them by doing a different technique and just doing it every time. And you're gonna see very shortly here how I'm gonna pull my mace out, and that comes from the end of my javelin, because in reality it connects to my javelin. So it's like a little trick that I made for modern times, like, you know, you disconnect it and now you have two weapons out of one. So yeah, that mace comes out of the back of the javelin and I slide it out, and it's not a heavy thing. Like, in reality, like, it is kind of heavy, I guess, but it's not made as a weapon. All this stuff is made, you know, for fun, for good. I carry them all in a clump straight to my house and straight to where I'm going to train. So, you know what I'm saying, or I get a ride and stuff like that. So it's like, all this stuff is all in fun. But yeah, definitely I got my mace there, and I disconnect it and I connect it, and when I connect it back to my javelin, I can extend it and make it longer or make it shorter. And so far I've been trying to master the shorter, more dark looking javelins, but no, I would say that the longer javelins are much more better. They balance out better in the sky, and as well, if you have a good tip on it that's nice and balanced, sometimes you need a little bit of counterbalance on the back, but you got to do it just right. You got to test these things out. For me, I simply just grabbed them one day and I just built them, and I just took them out, and I've been using them ever since. But I've been watching them, feeling them, and I don't like them. They're very heavy. So just know that, guys. I'm not trying to like just like pretend to throw javelins here and they don't stick that well. And also remember that there's a sheet of ice below, and it's kind of hard for me as well to throw the spear very straight as well, because I'm standing on the ice as well. So when they kind of fall in, they don't really stick in too well. And as well, yeah, they're not really that balanced. But that's part of the game. That's part of strengthening. That's part of doing it. And I'm doing it, I guess, Roman style, where you train with things that are like twice as heavy as what you originally are supposed to have them as. They would train with shields that were like twice as heavy, wooden swords or whatever that were like twice as heavy, spears that were twice as heavy. And it's like, that's what I do. My spears are actually twice as heavy, and if I didn't have that weight, they would probably go just a little bit further and a little bit more straighter. But I'm still doing it, I'm still trying it. And as well, when you keep it close range, it's hard for an enemy to dodge your very nice javelin. You know, like, there's only a certain point where an enemy can dodge it, and when it's pretty close, it's armor penetrating, because a javelin is fairly heavy and it's fairly sharp, and it flies like really no other projectile. Like, in reality, it has quite a bit of speed and weight in it, and it doesn't even have to go that fast. It's just once you get enough speed, the weight does a lot of damage. So excuse me guys if I get anything wrong, which I'm sure I'm not really getting wrong, But if I do get anything that kind of sounds kind of wrong, I apologize. I'm just sharing my video and as well working with what I have and trying to do a little bit of entertainment. So I hope that you guys as well like the costumes or the apparel that I put together and I design. And I got several kind of fabrics that I got on right now. How would I want it to look back then? That's what I think about. How would have I wanted to look? So I just decided to go with this style that I have right here. The robes are just a little bit long, and it's kind of like a little bit deceiving to the enemy when you're fighting. You know, you got a lot of fabric going on. If people throw like rocks at you with slings, the rocks kind of get a little bit better deflected with long, heavier and baggy clothes. But I keep the pants or the bottom piece kind of tight so I can maneuver and move around a lot, but I have enough fabric so I can keep warm and as well keep a little bit of a layer, so if I do have like a blade or anything or a rock hit my body or anything like that, I'm able to properly deflect it or take the pain a little better than just having, you know, my knees and my joints exposed like that. So the robes help a little bit with certain joints and certain things like that. So here ends the regular motion, and I don't know if I'm gonna record a session with my voice or even have this extend, but I'm gonna keep talking here and I'm gonna see where we can take this. So right here you can see that my moves are gonna be much more slowed down, and you're gonna be able to notice whatever mistakes I make and as well whatever little bit of talent that I have. Because I believe that I have just a little bit of talent. I believe that I have a little bit of skills in martial arts, and I know how to swing something and as well throw something and block and stuff like that and do little tiny kicks and, you know what I'm saying, like bumps and stuff like that. And I guess for my size, for my weight, I guess I do pretty good. So I'm gonna try my best for the future to keep making videos like this, and as well appreciate my youth and the body that I have, the health that I have, and I believe that other people should do the same. You know, look at this kind of stuff not as training to be a knight or some sort of medieval dude. If you want to, this is just my look on it, because I'm not really too down with LARPing, or I don't really even like how that sounds. Like, when I see people like reenacting stuff and then trying to make like videos on the medieval ages and comparing things like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that, no offense guys, but it kind of pisses me off. And that's kind of why I like to make some of my own videos, and as well on my previous channels I always made videos like this and stuff like that, where I was pretty busy making weapons reviews and stuff like that. It was more for me, kind of recording it so I can see myself, and you know, when I'm older, and it's like, oh, that's when I was young, show my kids some reviews that I used to make on weapons. And as well, it's kind of like studying, right? I don't have like the best academic skill. I grew up with a lot of issues of learning and communication and stuff like that. You'll notice by my spelling and stuff like that. I don't do that on purpose. I have kept up with school like regular people, but I just suffer with certain things, and as well as certain things in my life that have made it hard for me to learn like other people. So it's like I'm very hands-on. I like to, you know, film my projects, or at least now in later years. So it's like the YouTube aspect is one part of it, but the YouTube almost becomes an excuse to kind of film my life, film what I can do, you know, film my talents, and as well review them. Because these videos, you look at them, right? You look at them, right? But I look at them too over the years. And that's why it's good that you guys try this stuff too, in a safe location with safe stuff. Make some pretty good practice stuff. There is some pretty good practice stuff available. You can take a couple of partners, watch your safety. I wouldn't suggest javelins in the way I do it, because mine are a little bit pointy. They do stick in the snow. Sometimes they do penetrate the ice and they do stick in there, and it looks kind of scary. And it's like, you wouldn't want that to be like your partner or like your friend's dog or something just running in the picture. That's why I specifically always choose where I'm gonna train like this, and I do it at night when it's actually early as well, because where I am from right now, the sun sets very early. So it's like right now it's actually pretty early. It's like 6:30. It's not that late. But no one wants to stand right now in the middle of a field like this with a bunch of snow everywhere. So it's like I know where I'm training. I know where I'm doing this. And I know what kind of materials I have. And it's like if you guys do that too, watch your safety, have a little bit of moderation. You guys as well can have a little bit of fun. And as well, train in a gym, apply for a good place, or as well a dojo, many martial arts places. And I'm going to tell you, martial arts is everything. Like martial arts is like anything, any kind of like, you know, I guess fighting sport or whatever you call it. But I would say martial arts is more made for self-defense, and as well there are martial arts. It's a martial form of it's kind of like a superior art. So when it comes to fighting, and you know the best of martial arts or the best of self-defense, you got the best of that, then yes, you are kind of like martial in those arts. So I don't really know how to explain it, but it's a superior form of physical upkeep. And it has to do with self-defense. It has to do with fighting, the ability to defeat an enemy, defeat an opponent. And as well, when it comes to like sports like kickboxing and boxing and stuff like that, it is martial arts. Yeah, you do learn good martial arts too. It's not just basic stuff, but it is more kind of like a sport. It is more made for fighting. What I'm doing in a way is like martial arts. I'm trying to learn the best I can. I'm trying to warm up and as well learn some good maneuvers, some good techniques, do it in a safe location. I have a good mentality about it. Like I don't think about like, let's just say like, you know what I mean, doing this on the street and being cool and stuff like that. No, in reality, it's common sense. And as well, like this is stuff that surprisingly, you guys may not realize it when you watch these kind of videos, but a lot of people in Europe actually do this. And it's not just like LARPing or like, you know, Dungeons and Dragons and little styles and it looks cool and whatnot. No, people in reality do this because it's like part of their traditions, part of their culture. Like people actually like have fencing gyms or dojos or whatever you call it nowadays, and they go there because it is traditional. It is a way of like exercising. It is a way of learning history. People take those places and in reality learn about history. They put ideas together, and as well it's a community thing. So it's like, I guess where I am from, I don't really got a lot of people that are coming out with me here, but it's just that I don't invite people. I do it on my own. I invite you guys when I film my videos, and I show you guys just a little bit of my life and what I do on my spare time and how I, you know, get by and do my things. And I really hope that you guys enjoy all that and you guys are able to follow me on this stuff and understand these things. And if I could teach anything positive, which is my main goal as well with all my videos and when I do political videos, like I hope that you guys understand that all of this is for good stuff, for maintaining yourself, for having a good journey in life, for as well keeping faithful, keeping with God, Jesus Christ, which I think is the only way. It's a pretty peaceful, you know, religion, and it's been made to look bad in recent times. And all these characters that I'm showing you right here, this right here is more like the medieval people of Spain or of northern Iberia before it became modern day Spain and their fight with the Reconquista. The javelin would have been pretty cheap. It would have been pretty easy to train with, but as well it took a really tough warrior in order to do the javelin. So when I do this stuff, I really think about the history that I would have been part of if I would have been alive, like let's just say like 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago, what I would have seen through my ancestors' eyes. And then I can imagine what they would have seen through my eyes, how they would have felt being in a world like this, understanding the political situations, what we've done to our planet and stuff like that. It's just ridiculous. It's like all the species of animals that they would have seen. So it is fascinating. This is more than just like, for me, this is way more than just like LARPing around. This is serious. And it's pretty spiritual as well, and it has a lot to do with my faith as well, with God, with Jesus Christ. I try to revisit the roots of my ancestors and see, okay, how they would have looked like, these peasants or whatnot, knights and nobles and people. And I'm starting to realize it's pretty damn hard. Like I can just imagine right now, like being back in the day, and me trying to fight one of my ancestors or one of my ancestors' enemies with the kind of skills that I have. It kind of motivates me. it kind of drives me to try a little harder to keep up with what I'm doing and learn the best that I can. You know what I'm saying? People go to the UFC, they want to pound each other. People follow all their idols on TV, and they think about how they want to be like them. You know, I don't want to be like my ancestors. I just want to be like me. But I want to learn from them in proper ways. You know what I'm saying? Not go hug trees or anything, but do, yes, protect this earth. Keep a good standard. Learn from how people used to be and understand that, hey, we got better stuff today. But it's like, is our mentality in a way better? I guess, yeah, it's way better for sure. But I would say that things back then were much more simple. You know, people weren't really superheroes. Like, if you look at it, they were just people trying to survive, and they happened to do things that were way more cooler than we did with their bodies. Be able to train with their bodies, become very filled with endurance and strength. And I would say that people back then were way stronger than people today. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, people today may be taller, but I would say that people back then were way more stronger. I would say that the average tone of a good healthy male was way more powerful than what you see today. Way more muscles. Like, I can just imagine people back then being ripped. I don't know what Hollywood's done to people today, but when it comes to reenacting these people, but I think these people were powerful, because I'm just trying to do this right here after, like, yeah, warming up, yeah, I was hitting the bench press and, you know, pounding the weights on my arms and doing a little bit of squats and whatnot. I am a little bit tired. I did a little bit of running. It is a little bit cold, but come on, it's just like one day. I can imagine these people doing this every day, like the Roman legions doing this every bloody like minute of their training, like doing this until they can perfectly hit these marks, hit these targets. Even just thrusting your sword and blocking, thrusting, blocking, thrusting, blocking, thrusting, blocking. It's like, I can just imagine that. And day after day, like, I've read the stories of men who have wrote in their journals of how brutal it was training. It's like death. It's like torture. You know, the stories of people today in military training, and as well countries that are not like the United States and our Western world. Just Latin America alone, like places like Colombia, like training to defend just Colombia and Latin America. Like, I've heard stories from people that say, holy crap. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard. Like, it's hard. Like, they feed you right, they treat you right, they give you good weaponry. You know, they got good leadership, they got good intel, they got good air superiority, they got good detection units and stuff like that. Like, in Latin America, Colombia, you know, they're fighting the drug war or whatnot. But it's like, damn. It's like, even, it's hard for people even today. So it's like, you know, at least what I can do is put a little bit of energy and try, right? When I do this, it's a little bit more. You know, as well in my family, we have a family of military tradition. My grandfather, he was a good soldier, as well as my uncles, they were good soldiers. And my family, they've been involved with the military tradition. If I would have been, let's just say, where I was born, I would have been, you know, in the army as well. I would have been a different person than I am today. So it's like, I just try to like keep like a maintenance. I just try to keep like a good, you know, upkeep on my body and the best that I can. And I've been taking advantage in recent years. Actually, all my life I've been into these things, like way more earlier. It's just today, now that I'm a man, I'm able to figure more stuff out. I'm able to put stuff together. I'm able to, you know, buy a little bit more stuff than I did than I was a kid. And as well as my sense of adventure has not changed. In reality, it has gotten much more greater, much more stronger. But in positive ways, I do get concerned about the world that we have today. But I still try to strengthen myself, and I hope for other people that they can strengthen themselves too. Not lose faith in this planet and as well as Jesus Christ. Keep up with the good stuff. But yeah, there we go. I'm ranting. And the video is playing. And that's what I can do for you guys. So far, I have not ended the recording. I keep on doing this. And with all the mistakes, all my grammar mistakes here, and all the mistakes in my footage, and how I'm getting tired, and you can see it in the slow motion, and I got a long beard, which I am going to start to trim very soon. I'm just letting it grow at least once in my life, seeing how having a long beard looks like on me, and it doesn't look too bad. I don't make much videos with it, but when I do, I don't think it looks too bad. But that beard's gonna go pretty soon, and I'm just enjoying it. It's keeping me warm. So far, my face hasn't frozen. I don't feel like I gotta wear some sort of like face mask in order to, like, you know, feel more warm. In reality, the beard's doing just fine. So that's part of manhood. That's part of being a man, I guess. And I'm just happy that I can have a little sense of adventure, and I hope that you guys can as well. And if I can influence you guys in that, in positive ways, of course, I am glad to do that, and as well to hear that. So I am going to be upgrading, I am going to be changing as I film this, and whatever happens with my channel, if, you know, stupid stuff happens because of the political videos, which is not supposed to happen, that's not allowed to happen because I am a legit person. I do try to be positive, and I do retract things that are negative, but whatever happens, I'm going to keep you guys updated the best that I can, and I'm going to make sure that you guys can as well see some of my older videos that I have taken down over time, or because of switching with channels, or because of other situations. You guys are going to be able to see some of my older videos, some of the stuff that I used to do with partners and stuff like that, with sparring and the kind of armor that we used to use. But very soon, I'm gonna have different kind of Spanish apparel, different kind of Iberian apparel as I travel through the ages, or travel back and forth through the ages, and I'm gonna try different stuff, different reviews, and I'm gonna try to find a location where I can review actual good weapons and stuff like that, and you guys can think about buying those, or sources or links to where you guys can get good stuff, as I as well take breaks from the political videos, which I don't really like making all the time, because, you know, I started off with my YouTube channel making videos like this, doing documentaries, documenting stuff, commenting on stuff, doing a little bit of like news pieces, I guess, just like, you know, reporting on certain stuff that is happening, the latest gossip. But lately, I'm just trying to do more positive stuff, and I want to influence people in more positive stuff. And even though it looks like I'm some wild dude running around the snow with a couple of spears, like I ought to be making some movie called Lord of the Flies, no, I'm having fun. I'm doing my thing. I'm getting stronger. I'm strengthening up. I'm watching the safety, and I'm watching what my limitations are, and, you know, what I can work with and what I can't work with. And so far, I say that things are going good, at least with this. And I am getting stronger. I don't feel the cold like I did before. So I hope that you guys are paying attention to the footage as I'm talking, and you guys are enjoying some of my screw-ups, and as well the little bit of skill that I have. Now, when I first started off, I didn't have any gloves, and my hands just got frozen. You can see some of my first videos. The snowfall was crazy in some of them, and I lost my spears and everything. But since last time, it actually snowed again quite a bit, and then the snow kind of settled down and packed down, and the bottom layer became more icy. But I think that this time around there's a little bit more grip, even though I am hitting a lot of holes and obstacles because the snow is kind of like icy, and I'm trying to do kicks and all sorts of stuff and keep my balance as I'm slowly slipping, because my shoes are completely flat. They're completely made for a different kind of ground, more like a gym ground, as opposed to slippery ice and snow that is very blistering and full of jagged edges, as it's kind of semi-freezing in certain areas. That is the drama of life right now. That is what's happening right now. And I'm having quite a bit of fun, and I hope that you guys are as well having fun. So now that you guys are hearing a little bit more of my personality, if you guys want, you guys can leave some comments below. Tell me what you think. If you want to ask some questions about life and stuff like that. I don't bite, I'm not a bad person, I'm not here to hurt you or make fun of you. Sometimes my videos are a little harsh, but in reality, like, I want the best for my country, for my culture, for my Christianity, and as well for other people, no matter what walks of life they are. And as long as they're, you know, not hurting our people, not hurting their own people and causing pain and horror in our world. Like, just think about the animal species that we got, you know, to kind of stray away from javelins and swords, even though you're watching a video about javelins and swords. Like, think about our world, think about all the little creatures out there that are just going extinct. And it's not because they need to go extinct, it's not because it's just part of life. It's because we're doing unnecessary things. We got really bad people and criminals in government putting a lot of stuff in our food, in our air, doing a whole bunch of negative things. You know, to the point where people like me can't even go out and throw a javelin, throw a stick around. You know what I'm saying? Like, to the point where people can't even think about certain things because they can be in trouble for it. You know, we gotta appreciate the world that we have. And I think that more people gotta take from these influences, from these positive influences, and learn from these things, and be able to do more positive things. That's all I gotta say. So, back to the video. I am continuing to do this, and I am running out of things to say right now until I, in reality, piece together some better information and some better stuff that I can maybe script down and write down, and I can share with you guys as I'm making these videos. But so far, this series on javelins, the Iberian javelins, soldados de Azconas, so far it's been like a warm-up. It's been just kind of like seeing where I'm at. You know, it's like all practice beta testing. And you know, once I upgrade my stuff and as well get some better gear and maybe some better snowshoes, or pick a better place to train, that is, or hopefully the snow melts and I can move around a little better, way more agility, and as well set up some targets and stuff like that, and I can try some different material, or as well do some arrow practice in a better location, and where I actually can do it, and try some axes, some hatchets and stuff like that in much more better locations, not like this. I think the javelin's okay for the open field here, but I have to pick better locations if I'm gonna do like hatchets and other stuff like that. But so far, you know, like, I'm warming up, I'm getting stronger, I'm getting better, I'm getting in the game, and I don't think I'm gonna be doing any sort of crazy medieval competitions anytime soon, where I'm gonna be running in there with a bunch of armor and just brutally smashing people. Like, I got my opinions on that sort of sport and that sort of competition, that medieval bashing that people do. I do got my my opinions on that, and I think that these people gotta, man, like, if there was just a way where these people weren't just like beating each other senseless like that, it's like, I don't know, it's just like, because like weapons back then, like when you start using hammers and stuff like that, what these people are doing to each other, it's like, you know, like if you use hammers, it's over for people with armor. Like, if you got a good mace, it's pretty deadly. But anyways, back to this. Here I am, guys, the video is finishing up, and so far I have done it. I have done another day, and I have gotten more stronger, a little bit more impressed than before. And I think that from reviewing my video and reviewing the other ones, I think that I have gotten just a little bit better, a little bit more stronger. And once I upgrade these javelins, it's going to be much more better. And I hope that you guys as well have enjoyed my videos, have enjoyed watching me run around in the snow and strengthen up. And I really hope that it's brought you some sort of entertainment, some sort of adventure in your life, something positive, which is always my aim, it's always my goal, at least as a regular standard when I make these videos. You know, I try to make a little bit of entertainment. That's why I dedicate a little bit of time, and the apparel that I have here, the costumes, the designs of the weapons, the spears, the shields, the stuff like that, and as well the location, making the effort to actually go out there, run around in the snow and the freezing cold, and just try my best. But hey, I have fun, I enjoy it, and I'm glad that I can film it and share it with you guys. And that's what it is. So you can see right now my character, or me personally, I'm getting tired, I'm running around, I do my yells and my thrusts, and I do my double spear throws and my javelin throws. as much as I can, and I try to coordinate with my sword, but I'm starting to get so tired now that literally, like, these people back then, they really had a lot of endurance to do this stuff. They were very built, and as well had a lot of good skill. I can just imagine, like, me being like 20% as good as these people could ever be. You know, like just 20%. I would say that they probably had way more crazier techniques, as well, throwing techniques, ways of training, endurance, and all that stuff, as well as rationing their foods, the kind of food that they would have had that would have made them stronger, how they would have fought in the snow, what kind of techniques they would have had. It's just a lot of fascinating stuff to think about. And that was my video, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed watching that, and I hope that you guys were able to learn a little bit from me and what I was able to share. So until next time, guys, I hope that you guys stay safe and do things that are positive in life, and, you know, work with your family. If you don't got a family, try to find one, try to make one, try to make a community for yourself, better yourself. And that's the most important thing, especially in the kind of world that we have today. We can't give up. We can't become these so-called sheep, as these people out in power want to make us look like and call us. Absolutely not. We are the people that run these nations. We're the people that makes things better. And we got to begin to acknowledge that for ourselves and continue to do positive, not just for us, but as well for our families, and as well it will make our ancestors proud. But apart from ancestors, we got right now something to fix with God, with Jesus Christ. And when it comes to your faith, when it comes to your position in life, never give that up for petty stupidity that you can find abundantly in the world of today. So until next time, guys, once again, take care and goodbye.